Everybody, it's Christine. Yesterday was my son's birthday, so I didn't make a video, and today you get me in all my hotness. Sorry. To do my weekly update, and I might do my August TBR in this video as well. One thing I did read, if I can get it here, was Portrait of a Starter by Lisa Price. And it's like a novella for the starters and enders books. And I had them, but they had to go back to the library today. And I never got a chance to go and read it. But it was just a quick little story about, I wouldn't say background. It was just kind of like off to the side of the story. Like I know what the story's about. And it's about older people using younger people's bodies for their enjoyment. Not enjoyment, longevity. That would be it. So this is just about two people that were on the lower end of the younger people, meaning their, I wouldn't say age, on the totem pole, you know, like the lower class there. That's what I was trying to think. And then I read, I think I gave it a 3 because it had me intrigued. But then I read The Duke She Wished For by Ellie St. Clair, and it's Happily Ever After book 1, and it's like a Cinderella story. And I gave it a 4, I think. I really enjoyed it. It's about a girl who has an evil stepmother and stepsister, and she owns a hat shop. She's a milliner, and her and her father started it, and her father died. And so she kind of has to make these hats for this woman that's coming out of mourning, and, you know, meets her son, but she's kind of playing somebody else sort of deal for the mother, because the mother coming out of mourning, she the people are fickle. This is back in the 1800s, so they have their little jabs at people. So I gave it a 4. I liked it. I think that was the only 2 ebooks. I'm really having a hard time with ebooks. But I have to say, Ellie St. Clair gave that to me for free for an honest review, and I absolutely loved it. And I know I do have to make the video for Murder at Little Shandon. I will get there. It's been a busy couple weeks because of our trip and birthday, and so hopefully things will calm down. Hopefully. So then I read Bared to You by Sylvia Day, and it's book 1 in the Crossfire series. Wow. 50 Shades of Grey, only less masochistic. I can't even remember the people's names because I've read so many books this week to get my RRC challenge done. But it is Gideon Cross, and what is her name? She goes to work for the company, and she finds out later that, you know, he owns it, but what is her name? Wow, it's not even on the back either. Eva. So it's spicy. It's very spicy. I think I gave it a 4. Most of the books I've either given them 4 or 5. I had a wonderful reading week. Let's hope that keeps going. So yeah, she works for like a subsidiary of the company that he owns, and they kind of meet, and it's like the instant attraction. I do want to finish the series though. It's the story behind the spicy times is pretty good. It's written with a little bit more story and less sexy times than 50 Shades. But yeah, he's got the kind of backstory that you don't quite get a whole lot of knowledge of. You kind of get hints here and there, and then she's got the backstory There's a couple of scenes that were just a little bit over the top, and I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to say anything, but yeah, it's a little bit unbelievable for that. And then I read The One by Kira Cass, book 3 in Selection Series. And yeah, these two I read in 2 days. Like, they were really quick reads. So there was a part that I really didn't like, and then there was another part that I was, you kind of get a hint of what's going to happen between her and Aspen, and I'm really glad that that worked out. And so she's, the one, obviously. I really don't want to say too much. Obviously, it gives it away. I'm sure everybody knows it, but again, another 4 or 5 read. Oh, I'm a little scatterbrained today. The heat is getting to me. So yeah, but yeah, much. I think I definitely like this one better than the second one. And then I read Jennifer Ashley, Penelope, and Prince Charming, and this is it's a historical romance, but there's a little bit of magical realism and fantasy. There's no like fantasy creatures, but there's spells and jinxes and hexes, not by witches, by mages. And there's a crystal ball that they can see into. But this one is Damien and Penelope. Oh yeah, he's got to find. He was exiled. His father exiled him, and there's a prophecy, and he has to come up with a bride by Midsummer's Day, or else his uncle will kill him, pretty much. And he's got to find this long sought after princess. And so he meets up with Penelope, adores her, but then we later find out that she's actually the long lost princess. And this prophecy makes them kind of do things. They kind of don't believe it, but they kind of do. So yeah, he's got to come back to his country, which is a non-existent country, and with her. So it was really good. I definitely gave it a 4. And then I read How to Flirt with a Naked Werewolf by Molly Harper. These next 3 authors are definitely becoming my new favorite authors, like Jennifer Ashley, Molly Hunter, and Karen Marie Moning. This one was hilarious. This one kept reminding me of the show from the 90s, I think it was, Northern Exposure, and it even says Northern Exposure. And the show was brought up in the book, and it's hilarious. It's about there's Cooper and Mo. Mo has hippie parents, and she hates it. So because they always kind of come into her house, throw out stuff that they don't want. Meanwhile, it's hers. And so she decides to move to Alaska because that's pretty much the furthest place from Mississippi that she could get. And then she meets up with Cooper, who's a very belligerent, doesn't like outsiders type of person. And turns out Cooper's a werewolf. So there's a lot of sarcasm, there's a lot of wit, and I laughed my head off through it. And it was a very quick read. It's easy. I can't wait till the next one. And then the last book I finished was Karen Marie Moning's Dark Fever, and it's book 1 from the Fever series, and it involves fae and seelies and unseelies and vampires. It says romance, but there's no romance in it at all. I mean, well, there's a few little scenes, but it's not romantic. It's almost rape. So, but it's Mac's sister Alina dies in Ireland. She's studying abroad, so the inspector is not doing anything about it. So Mac decides to go to Ireland, try and find her, and then her cell phone had died, so she didn't get this message until later that her sister left a message saying that he's one of them, come help me, and then she dies 4 hours later. So Mac goes to Ireland, and there's all these different things happening, and she can't quite figure out. She doesn't believe what's going on. She can't believe her eyes, stuff like that. And it's really good. It kept me engaged, and I mean, I almost read 50% of it yesterday. So those were the books I finished. Now, my son and I are currently reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and we are almost halfway through already, which, yay. But my spine's starting to crack because it's very hard to hold it and without it. But anyways, so I'm liking this one better than the last one. I know the other ones, a lot of people like the one before this one. I can't even remember. Yeah, Goblet of Fire. I like this one better, and I'm really hating Umbridge. My son is hating Umbridge. Yeah, so there's that one. And then I didn't even barely get a chance to start this, and it's for the hashtag on the booktube shelf for July, and it was Meg by Steve Alton. I'm trying. I need to not really be in the headspace for it, but this heat is just, it's hard to think in with the migraines and stuff. I will be reading it. I do not know what the next book is. I don't think any of us do right now. It's just one of those times that, yeah. So I don't know what's going on with that. Please don't ask me. I don't know. I'll find out. I will find out and give a announcement for it. I have kind of been not lost in space, but kind of off for the last month. And it'll probably be a little bit off for the next month, but we'll see. So my Triple RC challenge this month. I don't have all the books with me. I've had to make changes with the ones that I wanted to get. So we'll just wing it this month. So the first one is A is for August. Read a book that starts with A, or a book whose author's first or last name starts with an A. And this is a nice, quick, easy read. I picked Are You My Daddy by Leanna Wilson. It's not even 200 pages long, so it'll be nice and quick. And then number 2 is Happy Anniversary. Read a book that was published in August of any year, or read a book of a Triple RC member that joined in August of any year. And that one will be, find it, Wallbanger by Alice Clayton. And yes, it's another one of them Sexy Times books. Gotta love those. My husband does. Too much information, sorry. Number 3, featured author challenge is Lisa Renee Jones. So read a book by her or anything that pertains to her. So read a book set in the entertainment industry or has a character in the entertainment industry. And so I picked a Blaze novel, and it's my first Blaze novel, and I have never read Blaze yet. And it is Watch Me by Lisa Renee Jones. So that's a nice, quick, easy one. Number 4 is August is National Catfish Month. There's a blurb about catfish. And that says, read a book where someone goes fishing or with a fish on the cover, or is set in one of the states mentioned in the U.S. South. I was going to read The Sassy Bells by Beth Albright. I have book 2, but it's an ebook form, and for some reason it's not in there. It says there's 1 copy, but there's 0 people waiting on 1 copy, so it's either getting a renewal of their license, or so that one I might have to change. We'll see. Number 5 is National Picnic Month, and little blurb. It says, read a book with a picnic or basket on the text, or in the text, or with a character or author whose name is any variation of Tony or Willis, so Tony, Anthony, Antoinette, Will, William, Bill, etc., or a book with food or sky on the cover. So this one is The Ranger's Woman by Carol Finch, and I picked it because it's got the sky on the front. And number 6 is August 1st, National Mountain Climbing Day. I read a book with mountains on the cover or set in New York State, or the numbers 4 or 6 in the page number. So I picked He Calls Her Doc by Mary Brady. I'm trying to get through my books that I own so I can pass them on to other people. And number 7 is August 6th, Wiggle Your Toes Day. Read a book that shows feet or toes on the cover, or read a book with a wiggly character, your interpretation, or read a book with a 10 in the publication date. Now this one I have down that I will either read The Dark Divine by Brie Despain, it's an ebook, or The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, that I have it on hold at the library. I'm just waiting for it to come in. And number 8 is August 19th, Aviation Day. Read a book with an airplane or other air transportation on the cover, or read a book with characters who fly somewhere, or read a book with a kitty cat or a hawk on the cover. This one I'm hoping to get, and it's the same situation that there's 0 people waiting on one copy and it's not there, but it is Animal Attraction by Jill Shalvis, and it's book 2 of the Animal Magnetism series. And then number 9 is August 27th, Just Because Day. Read a book just because. So that one might be Working Stiff, a revivalist novel. I think this is book, I'm hoping this is book 1, by Rachel Kane. So I think she works in a mortuary. Yep. And then 10, read a book of your choice. So I'll probably pick up book 3 of the In Boonesboro trilogy, and this is the final book, and it's The Perfect Hope by Nora Roberts. So let me know if you're doing the challenges, or if you've read any of these books, what you thought of. Sorry about the loud dings. Yeah, so I will let you know as soon as I can what the pick for August will be. And yeah, so I hope everybody has an awesome day, and I will see you later. Bye.